Ron, this is dispatch.
Hello, YouTube, and welcome to another edition of Buck Wild Trucking. I'm coming to you from an undisclosed location in Wichita Falls, Texas. Undisclosed because of all the death threats I'm getting for my Little Dog parody. Yeah, y'all are some nutty people. Nah, I'm just playing. I haven't received no death threats. But I am broke down. My truck broke down about 70 miles outside of town. And I came limping in at about 18 miles an hour. Long story short, there's truck needs to be regened, but it can't be regened until they replace a tube that comes off the back of the turbo, which has a hole in it, and then they'll determine if the filters need to be replaced or not. So, of course, they didn't have the part in, and they had to order it. It'll be in at 10 o'clock in the morning. So in the meantime, I'm in a hotel room, hoping there's no bed bugs. It's not a bad hotel. It's not too shabby. Boss sent me some cash, paid for my meals, paid for a couple drinks. Didn't have to drive, cab rides. So we'll see what happens. It's been a pretty decent week. I was hoping to pull down about 3,500 miles this week, but with this breakdown, I'm not sure I'm going to get the load. I do still have my current load, and I just got off the phone with the broker, so it didn't cancel. They didn't come pick up the trailer, so I do get to continue with that load onto Abilene, and hopefully I'll get a load out of Abilene and take that back to Houston so I can spend the weekend with my wife, who was expecting me home tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens. But it's been a good week. Man, something I want to talk about a little bit is camaraderie in the trucking community. And I'll start off with today before I go to last night. As I'm driving down the freeway trying to get here, broke down, hazards on, 35 miles an hour. That's what I started at, was 35 miles an hour. That was as fast as it would go. By the time I got here, it was doing 18. It got worse and worse. But I'm going down the road 35 miles an hour, and hazards going. And I had several trucks pass me. Had a couple ask if I was okay. But I had 4 trucks come right up on my ass, blow their air horns, then hop on the CB and call me a dumbass. I'm a dumbass because my truck broke. I'm a dumbass because I'm having trouble going down the freeway. Come the hell on, guys. Really? How are we ever going to accomplish anything in this industry if we can't stick together, if we can't get along? And I'm talking about a lot more today. There's a lot of truck drivers that just can't get along. I mean, I don't understand why we just can't be nice. Maybe I was raised different, but it seems like a different mentality nowadays, and that's pretty sad. Well, that brings me to last night. Last night I ran out of time in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I stopped at the Flying J. There's a Denny's there, so I decided to go in and eat rather than to cook my meal. And there was another truck driver waiting to be seated behind me and another one behind him. And when the hostess came up, we each said there was one person. So I invited both of them to sit with me. I said, hey, y'all want to join me for dinner? Yeah, the other guy says. So all 3 of us went and sat at a table together. We ordered our food and had us some sweet teas. And which, by the way, we all had the grilled tilapia, and it was really good. I was really surprised from Denny's. I mean, it was really good. But we're sitting there visiting and bullshitting and having a good time, and there was another trucker at the booth over behind us, and we started visiting with him, and before we knew it, he had joined us, so all 4 of us were sitting at the table, just bullshitting. There's a guy there He's probably close to 70 years old. Been driving for 30 years. The guy that came over and joined us, he was a pretty rough-looking fella, kind of dressed in biker garb, but he had been driving for 17 years. And then there was a black fella there sitting just to my left. He'd been driving for 10 years. And of course, they were all surprised when I told them I'd been driving for 7 weeks. I heard all the rookie, oh, you're a rookie, know this, know that. And I told them my story a little bit, And of course, they all did the same thing anybody does when I tell them that story. They go, it is what it is. They had some great stories to tell, each and every one of them. And they had a lot of good advice that I'm going to take to heart. As most of y'all know that have been watching my channel, I'm self-taught. I had a friend that took me out for a couple thousand miles, but I mean, everything I've learned on my own. I learned how to back up in a truck stop by myself. I learned how to back up to a dock by myself. All the safety that I do, it's all stuff that I picked up by myself. And these guys had some great advice. And man, what a good time. I mean, we had a great time. We sat there and bullshitted for about an hour and a half, and when we were done eating, we all paid our bills, and some of us had a few things to get in the Flying J, but we all ended up in the parking lot, and it ends up we were all parked within 6 trucks of each other. So we all ended up standing in front of my truck just talking. And by the time it was all said and done, we had 8 or 9 of us out there just talking, and we were there for about 2 hours. And I finally had to go to bed, and the old timer, the one that's been driving for 30 years, says, man, he goes, I used to do this all the time. We would hang out at the bar, in the restaurant, and talk. He goes, but I haven't done it in years. I haven't done it in years. Thank you so much for inviting me to sit with you. Folks, remember something. We're out here in these trucks by ourselves all day long. Now, some of us are loners, don't care for people. I always tell people I don't like people much. But this old man thanked me for inviting him to sit with us, and he told me what a good time he had, and that it just doesn't happen anymore. So many of us just think about ourselves, and we need to be nice. We need to be nice. It's not hard. Why can't we be nice? Why can't we get along? All these little groups that we have, all the Facebook groups and all the Zello groups. Nobody can get along. Everybody's a smart ass. Everybody wants to be a leader. We will never have unity in this industry if we can't get along as something as simple as social media, or as simple as the CB radio, or as simple as being in a truck stop. It's not difficult. Be nice. Give a smile. Invite somebody to sit with you. I'm telling you, you're going to have a good time, just like I did, just like that old man did. Anyway, that's enough of that. Other than that, it's been a decent week. I've been running all week. Again, I hope I'll be home tomorrow night. Broke down tonight. It was kind of a bummer. But, man, for a big plus, Rick Way. Rick Way, you're the bomb, man. I'm telling you, if you're ever broke down somewhere, anywhere in this country, you get a hold of Rick Morgan. He can tell you where to eat, what exit it's at, and a story about it. He turned me on to a place called the Parkway Grill here in Wichita Falls, and I grabbed a cab and went over there and ate dinner, and it was really good. It was, they had a great menu. I ended up having a Cobb salad, but it was really good. But thank you, Rick Morgan. Dude, I appreciate you, man. And I appreciate the advice you give, too. You give good advice, even though you are a hard ass sometimes. So anyway, again, if you like my videos, like, share, subscribe. If you have any comments, leave them below. I'll be happy to answer them. Guess that's all I got.